Welcome to the Slow Wine Guide 2021. I'm here with Brad McElroy from Ayres Vineyard in the Ribbon Ridge AVA in Oregon. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Great to be here. We're going to be talking about the 3 wines that'll be featured in the 2021 guide. Wine number 1. The Willamette Valley Pinot Noir. Why don't you tell us about it?
So by design, this wine, I come to this trade as a wine retailer many years ago. And the big goal for us was always to outperform on your value to quality ratio. So this is the wine I make more of than anything else. And the majority of it comes from our estate here on Ribbon Ridge. And then I've got a lease on a little property in the Yamhill Carlton AVA. So I'm trying to put the two together to showcase this wine. So this is Tuesday night. You know, you want to have something that's not going to break the bank, but it's a very nice bottle of wine. So that's what this wine is intended for. You know, being able to use the fruit that I grow here on Ribbon Ridge. Ribbon Ridge will give you definitely a bigger, darker expression of Pinot Noir. And as a winemaker, I'm always trying to pull the reins in to get finesse and elegance. By the lease property, it's a little bit higher elevation than where we are here. It's a little bit over 600 foot in the coastal foothills. And so we end up picking that site about 2.5, almost 3 weeks later than we do our estate here. And it gives me a lot of really red spectrum and a really good acidity. And for myself, acid is crucial for Pinot Noir. And as Mother Nature continues to warm up, and we're giving warmer years here in Oregon, to me as a winemaker, I want to watch that, because if our wines get really big, dark, and lose their acid, they just turn into purple wine, which can be nice, but to me, it's not what Pinot Noir is. Pinot Noir should be refreshing, yes.
There's no sign of that here. I have to say, there's really tremendous aromatics. I've got roses and raspberries and cranberries, and I've got this great mashup of both red and black fruit, but the wine is so floral today. It's showing so well.
Yes, and thank you. I mean, aromatics, that is, I mean, that's half of wine drinking, more than half of wine drinking for myself. But one fruit that I always think of when I have this wine is we have some old Italian plum trees on the property. And often my son Lucas and I will sit underneath that tree when they're ripe and falling out, and you eat them until you get sick because they're so. But that roasted plum, when it actually gets warm, and it's almost like, when you're making a galette, that's often a lot of the aromatics and texture I get from this wine. So
that sounds absolutely delicious. I'm ready for that galette right now. Okay, great. So wine number 2, the Lewis Rogers Vineyard, which is your estate vineyard there.
It is.
And this one is unique because it features all of the clones. Tell us a little bit about the clones that you've got there on this.
So on our property, I've got 5 different clones of Pinot Noir, and they're all planted in distinct different sections of the vineyard. And so, why we talk about clones with Pinot Noir is they're all Pinot Noir, but they all give you a little something different. Often we will pick the estate over a course of 2 weeks because they ripen at different rates. You might have one clone that's a bigger cluster, smaller berries, flavors of red raspberries, blackberries, blueberries, so all these little nuances that separate the clones. So on the property, I've got the Dijon 113, 115, 667, 777, as well as Pommard. And so what this wine is by design is I'm trying to give you a snapshot of what Mother Nature gave us for the season. So I always say if our vineyard could speak, this is what she would say. So it's a very small offering of equal portions of the different clones put together.
Well, Brad, do you make wines with the intention to age? Because the first takeaway I've got from this wine is I really want to put this down because I know the kind of secondary characteristics it's going to develop are going to be worth every moment I waited.
So yes, I do. Upon vintage release, I want these wines to be, you can take them home and drink them tonight. and enjoy them. And they'll be in a great spot. But if you're patient, you're going to be well rewarded because they're just babies.
Oh yeah.
How does Pinot Noir age? Well, we need fruit today, because fruit tomorrow, if it's not there today, it's not going to be there. You need acidity and you need tannin. So I think that where Pinot has more acidity than tannin, that is our buffer. These wines, all these wines, they'll age a decade, no problem. And
Oh,
so
no question. I'd even take them a little bit longer myself,
yeah.
but we'll have to see.
So what you're going to find is over the next 3 to 4 years, it's all about tannin acid integration. The wines get richer, creamier, smoother. They're kind of like butter. About 5 years of bottle age, the fruits that we have today will be in the wine, but it won't be as dominant as a component to the wine. So you'll get more of the secondary, the earth. You're going to get the dry tobacco, the leather. You're going to get more of forest floor. So you're going to go more into the earth realm. And we jokingly refer to the majority of the wine I sell here at the winery. It predominantly gets I-5 aging because somebody's back 6 months for their second case. And it's like, the wine just gets better if you're patient. So I encourage people to see what it does. And of course, we've been making the wine here long enough. We've got a good library of wines to be able to pull out when people visit that show you what wine with a little bit of age can taste like.
So you can show visitors, wine enthusiasts, and consumers who come to the winery why they should wait. You can give them a little glimpse of the future if you show them an older vintage, because for me, this wine is accessible. There's plenty of fruit, but it is just so tightly wound. And I know that it's just gonna, like a tightly wound spring, the coil's gonna start to release, and it's just gonna be extraordinary. So this is one for me to keep an eye on, for sure.
Good.
Great. Okay. So last but not least, this is the Pioneer, and this is a single clone. And what clone is that?
So this is the Dijon 667 clone. And that clone here on the property tends to kick off the smallest of berries. So you end up with more skin than juice on your ratio. So just pure appearance, the color is a little bit darker. And to me, I think it's a little bit more structured. So my Lewis Rogers Lane, when I'm grilling salmon, that's what I'm drinking. When I got the hanger steak on the grill, I'm going for Pioneer. To me, it's just a bigger red. And to me, it's definitely the darker fruit. And I've used this crazy kind of comparison. So to me, Pioneer is like blackberry cobbler meets mushroom strudel. So you've got this really dark core of black fruit, but then that earthy undertone to it as well.
Wow. Wow. This one is, a great way to describe it is elegant. It is very, very elegant. And the amount of I don't know, what weight or dimension on the mid palate without being over extracted is pretty extraordinary. It's that dark fruit really delivering.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Well, it's my first exposure to your wines, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am and how pleased I am to have the samples. Thank you very much for sharing them with us. And it's a real treat to learn a little bit more about the Ribbon Ridge AVA, and we're going to be keeping a very close eye on what's happening there. And now you're a sub AVA, you're a nested AVA, so you're within. I have to look. You're within Chehalem Mountain, which is within the larger Willamette Valley.
Correct. So in essence, we're just a finger of the Chehalem Mountains. And Ribbon Ridge is it's an uplift from the valley floor, and it's only a mile east to west and 3 miles north-south. So it is very, very small. But what you're going to find is a lot of the growers here on Ribbon Ridge, they're definitely the smaller scale wineries and vineyards. We're all farming the right way. I mean, we're all trying to take care of the earth as well as we can. And you can find some very interesting wines just in this neck of the woods. I feel very fortunate to be able to grow grapes here.
Well, this AVA has been shepherded very carefully, I think, into this point in time. And we really are confident that it's going to continue to be that way. Thanks very much, Brad. And we really look forward to seeing you in the 2021 guide.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye-bye.